A few years before the launch of the 1900 Paris Exposition, the Republic of France announced the exhibition to be one that welcomed and celebrated the coming of a new century. W.E.B. Du Bois put together a collection of photographs for the American Negro exhibit at the 1900 Paris Exposition. He arranged a total of 363 images into albums entitled Types of American Negroes, Georgia, USA, and Negro Life in Georgia, USA. In 1900, 90% of African Americans lived in the South. They lived under heavy discrimination based not only on their race, but on class, gender, and religion. W.E.B. Du Bois once stated that the problem of the 20th century is the problem of the color line. Segregation was very apparent. So just who was W.E.B. Du Bois? What did it mean to present this image of the Black American overseas, and how were these images received in Paris versus the United States?
So who was W.E.B. Du Bois, and what was his role? Du Bois was professor of sociology at Atlanta University during this time, where he focused on combating racism with evidence of the economic, social, and cultural conditions of African Americans. He believed that a clear demonstration of facts of African American life would challenge biological race scientists that proposed that African Americans were inherently inferior to whites. W.E.B. Du Bois, who lived from February 23, 1868 until August 27, 1963, was an American civil rights activist, leader, Pan-Africanist, sociologist, educator, historian, writer, editor, poet, and scholar. He also became a naturalized citizen of Ghana in 1963 at the age of 95. He was born in Great Barrington, Massachusetts, where he grew up in the North.
Du Bois, along with Thomas J. Calloway, the special agent for the exposition, planned and organized the exhibit of 500 photographs, 32 charts, maps, and 200 books written by African Americans. What did it mean to present this image of the Black American overseas? The photographs of the African American men and women challenged the scientific evidence and popular racist beliefs of the time that diminished African American social and economic success. The wide variety of hairstyles and skin tones represented in the photographs showed that the Negro type was indeed a diverse group of people with their own features. The exposition presented the opportunity for foreigners to realize the similarities between nations as well as their unique differences. New cultures were experienced and an overall better understanding of the values each country had to offer was gained. The learning atmosphere aided in attempts to increase cultural tolerance deemed necessary after a period of war. These images were received differently in Paris than in the United States. Du Bois' work for the American Negro exhibit was well done and highly praised. The Paris Exposition judges awarded him a gold medal for his role as collaborator and compiler of the materials for the exhibit. If the exposition was held in the American South, the reaction it generated would have likely looked different.
A special man photographed in the collection was Sergeant William Kearny. Kearny was a 54th Massachusetts soldier and was the first Black U.S. Medal of Honor recipient. He was born a slave in 1840. His father, also named William, escaped slavery, reaching freedom through the Underground Railroad. His father then worked hard to buy the freedom of the rest of his family. The free and reunited family settled in New Bedford in the second half of the 1850s. Young William learned to read and write, and by the age of 15, he was interested in becoming a minister. He gave up his pursuit of the ministry, however, to join the army. He said, "I could best serve my God, serving my country and my oppressed brothers." He was the first Black soldier to receive the award. When asked about his heroic actions, he simply said, "I only did my duty." He carried the colors with multiple gunshot wounds, and he did not give up.
W.E.B. Du Bois contributed greatly to the understanding of the Black American experience in America through his presentation of various photos and charts at the Paris exhibition. These allowed Americans to see what the experience was like and gave visibility to Black American works in the United States. The examples presented in the Negro exhibit left a lasting impression on Americans about what it meant to be Black. He challenged what society and scientists thought about the race and presented new ideas to oppose the previous thoughts Americans had. W.E.B. Du Bois' exhibit in Paris paved the way for future improvements on Americans' thoughts about racism and made some gains in the way of race progress in the United States.